you can't decide what color to use, or if you just love the look of tons of different colors together, check out this video using a whole bunch of different crystals, some seed beads, and some pearls. We'll put them all together here and make a fun little mix and put them all together in this spiral bracelet. Check out the material list below and then we'll get started. This is a design that we're using in our subscription boxes for February, and this is the version that you are going to get, that you're going to be able to make in the subscription box. Lots of fun color, lots of crystal, just really fun. But all of that color is kind of difficult to show on screen. It gets a little difficult to follow what's going on. So for the video here, I'm going to show you how to the stitch you're going to use, how to make that bracelet with some silver and some black. Much simpler. So we're going to start out here picking up a seed bead. These are 11/0 seed beads. And I've got a black thread here, so it's easier to see what I'm doing. I'm going to take this thread and just go back through that bead so that I have a stop bead here. I'm going to pick up one more seed bead and a crystal, two more seed beads and a crystal, and two more seed beads and a crystal. So I should have this pattern here. 2 seed beads, crystal, 2 seed beads, crystal, 2 seed beads, crystal. I'm then going to take my needle and I'm going to go through the first 2 seed beads that I picked up. So now you've got a little circle here with 3 crystals. Coming out of this seed bead right before your crystal, pick up 1 crystal and 2 seed beads. We're going to skip over the crystal and we're going to go through the seed bead. This is going to build a tube, but at first here, it's not going to look anything like a tube. So don't worry about that right now. Just make sure that you keep your threads tight. And the newer beads that you add stack on top of the older beads, the beads that have been there for a while. The new beads are going to stack on top. So now here I am. I'm going to pick up a crystal and 2 more seed beads. Again, here I'm going to skip my crystal and go through the next seed bead. And now nothing will really look like it's stacking yet, but the seed beading crystal that I just added will be sitting on top of the one below. Pick up a crystal and pick up 2 seed beads. We're going to skip the crystal and go through the next seed bead. This is if you're doing it exactly the same way that I am, you're going through your stop bead. And now you know that you've completed 1 rotation, or yes, we've completed 1 rotation here. So I've added 3 more seed beads, 3 more crystals, sorry. So these are like our rows. I like to think of them as rotations just because we're rotating around, but the rows here are rotating around. So that is our second row. I'm going to continue here just like I did previously on the last row, and every row is going to be the same. Row or rotation, however you want to think of it, it's all going to be exactly the same. we're going to start by picking up a crystal and 2 seed beads. And then we're going to skip over the crystal from our last row and go through the seed bead directly after it. And so now you can see, now that I'm on my 3rd row, you can see it's going to start building up. Let me do this again here. Crystal, 2 seed beads. Skip the crystal, go through the seed bead. Crystal, 2 seed beads. Skip the crystal and go through the seed bead. And push those rows, those new crystals, towards the inside, and they will then start to form edges, kind of like forming a little cup here, but they'll start to form edges to your tube so that your tube will grow outward instead of trying to to go outward. Yes, you want it to go upward, not outward. So again, here I'm just starting this row exactly the same. And you can completely lose track of where you are on the rows because you're just going to repeat these steps. There really is no stepping up or really any reason to keep track of the rows. As long as you just keep doing these same steps. Pick up a crystal, 2 seed beads, skip the crystal, go through the seed bead. And if I turn this aside here, you can see how you're starting to get this sort of twisting, rotating look to the crystals and the seed beads. So I wanted to show you how to do this, how to get this started with silver and black and some black thread because it's very difficult to teach it with so many colors. But this is what you're going to get if you subscribe. I'm going to put together a fun mix of different crystals. I think I'm also going to throw in some 8/0 seed beads and some pearls in there. And then you can make this really fun version of this tubular bracelet. I'm also going to go ahead and finish this one here. And I'll show you how to put ends on it. There's a couple different ways you can do that if you want to put a clasp or if you just want to make it into a bangle. So I'm going to continue and work on this one here. This one's my favorite one, all the crystal colors. And I'll show you how you can end it. You can see that I've worked on my colorful version for quite a little while now. And this is what my colorful version looks like. I have my silver seed beads running through here and the crystals. I have some pearls. I also have some of those 8/0 seed beads that I picked up now and then. And it makes for a really fun, beautiful, very vibrant piece. So here we go so here is the final piece here without the clasp yet. I'm going to show you how to put that on now. I've already put a wire guard on one side, so I'll show you here how to put the wire guard on the other side. And there's really no exact right or wrong way to do this. This is just, I'm going to show you how I chose to do it and how it seemed to kind of come together and make sense for me. So like I said, I already did it on the one side. And so on the other side here, I've got my needle and thread. If you need to attach a new piece of thread, of course, go ahead and do that. And all I'm doing is I'm coming out of one of my beads, not my seed beads, but the other beads, my crystals or my pearl or my seed bead here. And I'm going to pick up a couple seed beads and go through the next bead that's not a seed bead. and pick up another couple more beads, go through the next bead that's not a seed bead. This is my crystal here. Pick up 2 more seed beads and go through the next bead that's not a seed bead. And so now I've got those 6 seed beads that I just added, and I'm going to go through all 6 of those seed beads to kind of bring them together into a triangle. And all this is doing is bringing together the end into more of a, just narrowing down the end here, and then securing it by going through the seed beads a few times. So now I'm going to add on my wire guard. I want to add a wire guard onto this. I don't want to add the my clasp directly, because the wire guard is going to make it sit better. So I'm going to put on one side of my wire guard, and if you've not done that before, you're just going to go through one side of the wire guard here from like the top of the U, and then you're going to go up the other side. So you're going down one side of the U and up the other. And as you pull your thread through, you just want to make sure that your thread actually sits under the U here. There's a little trough here, I like to think of it, and you want it to sit around the outside there. And now we're going to go to the other side of our beads, and we're just going to go through 1 or 2 of those seed beads on the other side of where our thread is coming out. So we're basically just having our wire guard kind of span across the end here, and then go back up through the same side of the wire guard, down through the other side, and through a bead on this side. I'm going through the same bead where I started, and I'm going to go up through the wire guard again. So I'm just anchoring my wire guard with the thread on a bead on one side, going back through the wire guard, and then anchoring it on the other side and attaching it. When I say anchoring it, I really just mean I'm attaching it to a bead on the other side by just passing through that bead. And that's all you have to do to attach a wire guard. And then from here, you can add whatever kind of clasp that you want. So I'm going to take my needle and thread, and I'm going to go through some beads. And I'm going to also tie this thread off just to show you here, if you're not familiar with wire guards, how to add something to a wire guard. So I'll cut this off. I'm gonna cut this off for now, and I'll burn it down later. Just because I don't have my burner handy, left it at my desk. So I don't have many things handy. Apparently all my cutters and burners walked away. So I just cut that off, however you'd like to do that. And then I don't need any more seed beads. I only really needed a few. And so here I've got my wire guards attached to either end. So now to attach a clasp, you're going to need to use some pliers. And let me see what pliers I've got around here. Oh, my pliers. I didn't prep well enough apparently. Okay, but I got a couple pliers here, so we're good. So now we've got the wire guards on, and from there you just attach whatever kind of clasp you want, however you want to attach it. I'm going to use a little lobster clasp, keep it simple. So I'm just going to use a couple pairs or a couple of pliers here and add a jump ring to one side. And on that jump ring, I'm also going to put my lobster clasp. So the one side will have the lobster clasp and the jump ring, and the other side here is just going to have the jump ring. So I'm just going to open that jump ring, slide it on the wire guard, and close that up. And once I do that, I have a completed bracelet. So my clasp here on the end, very nice and dainty. I like lobster clasps for dainty pieces like this where I don't want the clasp to be bold, and I want to kind of keep that minimal. So lobster clasps work really well for this kind of design. So there you have it. There is my my crazy colorful bracelet. I absolutely love it. I have another one that I made like this, and I made it into a bangle. So if you want to make a bangle, you're just going to take your ends and just put them together, just sew your ends together here and make it big enough so that you can put it over your wrist here without breaking it or pulling it too much. So there's another option for you too. You can always make it into a bangle.